Good morning, folks. Right before lunchtime, so hopefully things will be moving quickly here. So I'm Luke, and this work was done in collaboration with my teammate Ray sitting here, as well as Larry from Synopsys. So today I'll be talking about how we accelerate software development for high-performance compute using VDKs. So why are software virtual prototypes needed at all? At Tenstorrent, we're creating complex multi-chiplet systems, sometimes in collaboration with our customers, and they're composed of heterogeneous compute and memory. It's vitally important to ensure that all layers of the software stack, from boot ROM, firmware, and operating systems, and hypervisors to application software, can work cohesively so that the hardware can support all the anticipated and unanticipated functionality. To help facilitate this process at a much faster pace, we're leveraging Synopsys Virtualizer Development Kit, or VDK. This is a software virtual prototyping platform which allows our software team to left shift the software development process and obtain pre-silicon confidence that the software will work on a complex systems that we're designing. VDKs help Tenstorrent ensure that our hardware supports all software functionality because those functionalities need to be modeled in the virtual platform. The virtual platform is a great tool for developing and verifying hardware-dependent software. Here's an overview for how to understand what Tenstorrent offers and why our systems are complex. We design, implement, and validate two foundational compute IPs, our high-performance, out-of-order RISC-V CPUs, also called Ascalon, and our 10.6 Neo cores, which are the basis of our high-performance ML accelerators. Our SoCs utilize complex modern I/O technologies like PCIe, fast networking capabilities, heterogeneous memory technologies, and connect our compute via highly connected high-bandwidth fabrics. In addition, our systems have complex power and thermal management capabilities and include the latest RAS, security, and debug features to help ensure robust and reliable operations across different operating domains. The compute IPs, along with our SoC technologies, are brought together in a larger system via chiplets, which utilize die-to-die communication to ensure all components work cohesively. The chiplets can be composed for different use cases, including data centers and other partner collaborations like with AIDC and their custom chiplets. We use Synopsys Virtualizer to help develop our VDKs for our complex systems. Virtualizer includes support for simulating System C models that are TLM compliant. We can co-develop functional models of Tenstorrent IP and leverage Virtualizer's library of components. Moreover, software developers can use the tool to help perform debug, write directed tests, and perform detailed architectural analysis. In addition, customers can extend the existing VDKs with models of their own IP, or even with their own VDK of a chiplet. This ensures that both hardware and software architects can collaborate in a uniform environment and be portable across different companies. One key challenge in designing complex systems is that one company, including Tenstorrent, may not own all of the components. One solution to help solve this issue is that Tenstorrent and Synopsys have collaborated to co-create a Tenstorrent TLM library, which can be licensed to Tenstorrent customers. Currently, this contains a functional model of Ascalon IP and may be extended in the future to contain other Tenstorrent-developed IPs. In addition, Virtualizer contains a rich library of designware TLM components such as PCIe and USB. In addition to the existing TLM library components, Tenstorrent's customers can bring in their own System T TLM models to connect them in Virtualizer, and then use the new VDK to help validate their own software stack. Let's go through a concrete example to see how this all fits together. Tenstorrent has a proprietary boot flow that spans multiple software layers and hardware components, from the ROM to loader, runtime software, bootloader, and finally the operating system. Each boot layer can be brought up sequentially, and software developers can add different test cases to ensure that the hardware initialization sequence works as expected for each layer. In addition, Virtualizer also provides highly configurable RISC-V CPU models, which allow us to quickly add RISC-V CPUs wherever they are needed, from MCUs and subsystems to Escalon cores for running OS and application software. While chiplet technology promises numerous advantages, its modular nature complicates boot sequences, particularly in terms of interoperability, testing, and debugging, which can impede the overall system verification. A chiplet VDK built using Synopsys Virtualizer model libraries offers a solution by enabling early development and validation of firmware, bootloaders, and I/O protocol stacks. It facilitates testing firmware interactions across multiple chiplets and shared resources, ensuring correct sequencing and handshakes during chiplet initialization and boot. Furthermore, the VDK supports fault injection, allowing for easy and safe testing of fault scenarios and other corner cases without risk of hardware damage. A key feature of using virtual prototyping is the ability to left shift the software development as well as pre-silicon validation. If the register definition, system memory map, and hardware components are well specified, a VDK can be built using this information, and software development can begin, even if some of the models are not exactly matching the final behavior. Once more system details are known, additional changes can be added to the VDK to reflect the real system. The Tenstorrent library, TLM library, also provides customers with the ability to simulate with the Escalon CPUs in their VDK. Finally, VDKs are an alternative to FPGA or emulation resources. They can be brought up sooner in the project since RTL is not needed, are easier to modify, and generally more scalable to a large number of software developers, especially in multiple locations. Simulating multi-chiplet systems, particularly for long-running workloads, can be computationally intensive and slow. While higher-level modeling abstractions can improve simulation speed, they may compromise overall system performance accuracy. Synopsys Virtualizer multi-core solution directly addresses this challenge by parallelizing system C simulations, automatically distributing simulated RISC-V CPU cores across multiple host CPUs to achieve significant simulation speedups. VDKs also allow architects and software developers to gain confidence in the hardware design and software stack prior to tape-out. Our chiplet models have well-defined interfaces and modularized based on software abstractions. These abstractions allow unnecessary complexity and details to be removed so that simulation speeds are optimized. In the picture on the right, you can see that the subsystems in color blue have been approximated. For example, RAMs and ROMs can simply be sparse arrays, and fabric can be completely removed and be modeled as simple API calls. Subsystems in green are software-faithful models that have software-visible CSRs, can send and receive interrupts, and can boot and run operating systems such as Linux. A concrete example of this is that we worked with Synopsys to build a VDK comprising of our CPU chiplet and associated memory and I/O peripherals. We were able to boot Linux on this VDK within minutes, and also cross-compile test programs for our Escalon CPUs with the GNU compiler toolchain. This VDK can be used as a basis of a larger VDK that can be used to build out larger SIPs comprising of multiple chiplets that communicate via PCIe or data die. That concludes my talk. I'll take any questions in case you have some.
There are many simulators, like the Synopsys Virtualizer and Cadence and Corellium, MetaWare, many things. And open source Gen 5 and QEMU. What is the main driver to select the virtualizer in case of the Tenstorrent?
Yeah, so one of the interesting things is because there's so much choice, customers are able to choose between those different options. One of the things that we found is certain customers may have very well-defined software bring-up use cases that rely on certain components that are either from Synopsys or maybe their own model toolchain, right? So Virtualizer is a good environment for some of those customers which have very well-specified software boot flows, for example, or rely on certain IPs that Synopsys offers, or they like the ease of having an integrated IDE that has all those features for software bring-up debug. And Virtualizer is a tool that allows you to make that happen. But I agree, I think there's a lot of other potential solutions that Tenstorrent and other customers can adopt as well, including the ones you mentioned. Yeah.
You mentioned about your CPU is modeled as a functional model. So how about the timing? As you know, the simulator can have a trade-off between the timing accuracy and the simulation speed.
Yeah.
So what kind of level are you supporting for the Tenstorrent CPU IP?
Right. So the Virtualizer uses System C, which is done in a loosely timed fashion. So it's basically you can think of it as equivalent to blocking System C calls. So there's really not any notion of timing that you can get out of the Virtualizer toolchain itself. And that's fine for software bring-ups. Most of the time you're basically concerned about just testing functionality in the software stack and corner cases and less concerned about the performance. Now once you get to the point where you care about performance, then you may need to use other technologies such as FPGA emulation, performance models, those kind of things which can coexist alongside with the Virtualizer.